So 40 years later, we get the true Halloween sequel. Okay. Hello, and today we're going to talk about Halloween 2018. So Halloween 2018 is a slasher horror. This is also the sequel to the original John Carpenter classic, and this ignores all the sequels. Halloween 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They never happened. Nope. This is the true sequel. Does it deliver? Let's find out. So let's talk about the positives. And I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very surprised when I found out that David Gordon Green of Pineapple Express was going to direct this new installment of the Halloween saga. And when I heard that for the first time, it's like, oh no, they just don't care. But apparently they do care. And then with Danny McBride co-directing, like, you will probably expect garbage things. And surprisingly, they show care for this new trilogy. At least the first part of it, at least. So you could tell that they had love for it, which I appreciate. And then another thing too that I also will admit too was the fact that for Jamie Lee Curtis, 40 years later, she still got it. She still got it after 40 years. Gotta respect for that. And the kills in this movie, they get brutal. More brutal than I thought. So, another point is to Universal and them. So, and then for the mask, this is supposed to be the best mask in the entire Halloween saga. That, yeah, the true mask, that was awesome. And then when we do get to the ending, like Laurie versus Michael, that was awesome. That he almost made up for the whole movie, which I will talk about more later. But the epic, like the showdown between Michael and Troy was just so cool that it it almost makes up for the first and like kind of the second like part of the movies, like of the movie. And yeah, but it didn't do enough. Now let's go to the mixed. What? And the first thing that I'm gonna say also about the mixed. So we get to hear a little peanut butter joke that dad makes. Okay. And another true problem I have with not really problem, but something I feel mixed towards in this new installment was, well, Michael Myers didn't really act like Michael Myers at parts. Like, he was still him, but there were scenes are like, oh, come on, the 70s, like the original Michael Myers probably would not do something like no, that's just wrong. And like, spoiler, but it's not really a spoiler because it was in the trailer, but the scene where one of the detectives got his mask, like, what's wrong with you, dude? What is wrong with you? Like, I understand that it kind of plays part in the movie, but still, like, what's wrong with you though? And then speaking of mixed, another mixed thing I feel, I was never like Laura Strong's daughter. Like, call me a hater, but I was not fully hooked on her, as probably more as I should, and I just didn't really care that much, to be completely fair, honestly. Like, so yeah. Now let's go to the negatives. And boy, oh, so my first negative of the movie was basically like Like there was a scene where these kids like encounter Michael Myers, and you serious? You are serious about that? Like the scene basically represents what's wrong with this movie, in my opinion. Like, oh my gosh, like yeah. On top of that, you basically have some jokes that were not funny, and then you basically have some you basically have some pointless callbacks to the original, which like, hey, remember this one? Yeah, I know. Just shut up and let us watch it. Like, I don't want any flashback. Like I understand it's Halloween 4 years later, but don't we have like 20 self flashbacks of callbacks to the original. And speaking of it, like another big problem I have with it, mainly the second act. The second act of the movie was just, I was never really hooked on to the second act, to be honest. Right now, never was I, to be honest, and that's another big problem I have with it. And so don't get me wrong, I think that it is a good movie, and I think this is easily the best Halloween movie we've had since Halloween H2O. But it's still a good movie. You also probably will like it, but for me, I just had a lot of problems with this movie. There are things I did not like, and this this has some very complicated things for me personally. And I know that's probably gonna make some people mad, but it's just my opinion. Keep in mind, like when I talk about these movies, just keep in mind this is all just my opinion. If you there's a movie that you like that I don't like, that's fine. There's a movie if there's a movie you don't like that I like, well then that's fine. Everyone has their own opinions, but for me with this new one, I just expected a little bit more, to be honest. I expected this to be a whole lot better. I mean, I love, and when I first watched it, I was like, okay, that's pretty good. But then I gotta like, it goes down every time I watch it. So yeah, it's still a good movie, but I'll personally just say right now, just stream it.